friends. Welcome to season 2 of the Unvaulted Podcast. I am your host, Squatingdog, but my barista making my favorite holiday drink this morning called me Jeremy, a touchy name during COVID. Anyways, this season of the podcast, we have been trying to capture the massive benchmark moments of Fortnite history and interviewing those who are influential in making it is what the game is today. Last week, we chatted with Ali A and Benji Fishy for a mixture of content creation meets pro gaming. But today, we're going to go ahead and blend both those together to interview our quite goated individual. You attempted his challenges and probably failed at them. You love his humor. You enjoy his memes. We've got to welcome this content creation machine. It's Typical Gamer here with your daily YouTube video, live streams, and more. What's going on, Andre?
You kind of nailed it, man. You weren't far off. Hey, man, thank you for the intro there. I'm super happy to be on, so thanks.
Our goal, Andre, in the second season of the Unvaulted Podcast is to track benchmark moments of Fortnite history.
That won't be hard. There's a lot.
Yeah, there's so many. Given that Chapter 3 has been announced, we have to look back on the past 2 chapters, which we could not go further back than to talk with you because of how big you are because of Fortnite. How do you feel being considered of such a nominee?
Hold up, man. Did you just call me old? Is that He's like, we have to go way back to the dinosaur game.
Way back there.
So sorry, what did you ask?
Like, what is it like to be considered of somebody who has been influential to this game and what it is today?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. I've been playing Fortnite since it came out. Since I like to tell people even before it came out, right?
Yeah.
Like before it was publicly released, and I've been a big fan of it. I mean, my entire content on my channel has been kind of all Fortnite since it released. So that's kind of shows. And I'm still going every single day, playing the game for hours. And truthfully, people always ask, they're like, do you get bored? I'm like, no, I love it. There's a lot to the game that makes it super special to me.
Yeah. And so you're a perfect person to have here. You've been sponsored before, right, TG? This isn't a normal thing to be sponsored by something, right?
Yeah. Well, so actually, the first time that I played Fortnite, it was sponsored. So.
Okay, so my question to you is, we are officially sponsored by Epic Games, and I was wondering if you could give me some tips or maybe show me what it would be like to do a shout out to be sponsored by Epic Games. From a professional standpoint. This is my first time being sponsored on my podcast, so I'm stoked about it, but I was wondering if you can lend me maybe some tips and pointers.
Yeah, you got to make sure you get all the FTC disclosures down, make sure this video is sponsored by Epic Games, all that. And then you just got to mix your honesty with just the absolute most fire gameplay, or in our case, it's face cams.
All right, so give me your, if you were sponsored by Epic Games, what you would say right now.
This video is sponsored by Epic Games. Big shout out to them. We love Epic Games around here.
Beautiful. Awesome. Awesome. All right, well, let's get into the interview, man. I've got some icebreaker questions for you, and I would love to hear, out of the very first thing that I would love to hear from you is, what was your very first gamer tag or alias for gaming? Was it Typical Gamer, or did you have something else? I'm curious.
So that's a fun question. I'm pretty bad with names, so my name wasn't originally Typical Gamer. It was Pavonis or Pavonus, however you want to say it.
Pavonis.
Yeah. Well, it's a mountain on Mars, and it just sounded cool. So
yeah, that's awesome. Wow, Pavonis. But people probably mispronounced it and said the other ways.
I truthfully, I don't know which way to pronounce it. I think I went by Pavonus. But people mix it up all the time. And honestly, my brother came up with the name, and he also came up with the name Typical Gamer. So it's like, I'm not good with names. I just let him pick them.
That's great.
I kind of just rolled with it. So
awesome. Okay, so Pavonis, Chapter 3 has been announced, and we'll dive into that towards the tail end of this podcast as well. Yeah. But I would love for us to predict. I want you to predict something that will be coming in Chapter 3 at some point in time, so that we can look back at this moment and go, wow, Andre, big brain.
How about if I just say like 5 things and they're all in it? Like,
yeah, that's fine.
I'm gonna look like a genie,
Yeah. They're like, let's make sure we pay attention to what he has to say.
So my predictions. Okay. Can I talk on specific collabs that I think will happen?
Yeah. Let's hear it. Whatever you think.
I think with all the hype behind the Spider-Man movie, and with me kind of leading towards Spider-Man being my favorite superhero, I would love to see a Spider-Man collab at some point. That'd be fantastic.
Uh-huh.
Um, there was a picture that Fortnite released, and there was a dude like on his knees, kind of sliding. If they
Uh-huh.
implement sliding, that would be really cool. Who
Uh-huh.
knows? Um, hmm. I want to see vaults back. So
Oh.
the vault system, it was just there was something really fun about it. It felt like a game in a game to like take down Brutus or Midas or something, get their key card, and then get all this loot. It was just a lot of fun. And I feel like a lot of people miss that mechanic. Bringing that back plus a lot more mythic weapons. I'm fairly certain they're gonna do it. I'm like fairly certain. I feel
That
like
was a great feature, honestly.
it
Like
was.
you like to be able to have a kind of like a mini game, right? In between where you're like, okay, there's a lot of people here that can one shot me. I got to be careful. And there's also players also trying to eliminate me. And then when you get that weapon, you feel so powerful and you feel like, all right, I've got enough energy for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm just hyping it up in my head, but when you like got the key card, you go up to the vault, you hit it, and you just hear the door like opening like a bank vault. Like you never open a bank vault in real life, so it's cool to get it in the game, So
Yeah.
yeah, those are a couple of big things. I think that in chapter 3, that a lot of things the community kind of voiced their opinion about. I feel like Epic's really good at taking that in, so I'm hoping to see some more map changes that like stay.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
like similar to the chapter 1 map where you kind of get all those biomes by the end of it. Where I
Yeah.
felt like chapter 2 you did, but it was like at the time, if that makes sense. And then they pulled it back, and then
Yeah.
they kept doing that. So
Yeah, I call it stacking. Like chapter 1 was a stacking season where they're like,
Mhm.
okay, desert, but then we're gonna put it in the corner and it's gonna stay there.
Yeah,
And then jungle, and then it stays there. Whereas chapter 2 was like desert, really cool sand mechanics, but then plucked.
yeah,
And I feel like if they go back to that, I think players will have the legacy of chapter 3 throughout all of the seasons to where I
yeah,
think we will feel more nostalgic towards that map like we do with chapter 1.
for sure. Yeah, and I think it's important that they tested both ways to kind of see which one
Mm.
people preferred. Now they have the data. Let's see what
Right.
they do with it, right?
Exactly.
So that's what I always tell people when they go, "Oh, why they do this? Why do that?" I'm like, "Well, sometimes they're just trying to gather some data, or other times, like they
Right.
have information we can't see, right?
Totally. Totally.
Like just because the vocal amount of people are saying one thing, that doesn't mean like the whole player base might like something else, right? So,
Totally.
or the percentages, you know what I mean?
Okay, so for my next question, you kind of already answered. But if you could have one collaboration inside of Fortnite, and let's go beyond Spider-Man.
Mm,
He's also my favorite superhero of all time
yeah.
too. So I'm hoping for that. But what's another collaboration you'd like to see inside the game?
Okay, I'm gonna hit you with 2.
Okay.
One in X-Men. There's an X-Men called Gambit.
Uh,
He was probably one of my
Are we the
favorites.
same person? I love Gambit. Yes. Okay. Okay. Keep going. Keep going.
Growing up, Gambit was so cool, lighting the cards and like flipping them. I would always just grab cards and like flick them, right? So having him in the game would be cool. I don't know how much it would resonate on a lot of people that play the game, but at least
People
for
are
you
researching
and me, man.
right now. Like, what is a Gambit?
Yeah, at least for you and me, that'd be really cool. I mean, we got
Uh-huh.
Wolverine, we have Jean Grey, like we got a lot of the X-Men. But I think the big one, and I'm hoping a lot of people watching will agree with me, is Pokemon, right?
Oh yeah.
That's a heater. I've always thought Charizard gliding in with a Charizard.
Wait, you like
That'd be
Charizard?
so sick.
Couldn't tell.
Oh yeah. But gave it away. I also think the Baby Yoda collab was really good.
Just list everything behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Pokemon would be huge. Nintendo, come on. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Just let us have this.
Come on.
All right, last question for you for the icebreaker is why am I your favorite podcaster of all time? I know a lot of people have been curious. Yeah, what would you say?
Yeah, they were really asking that question. Yeah, I think it's like I think you're my favorite because I felt bad when I eliminated you that one time in a match.
Whoa, we're gonna get into that. I have a question for you. You're gonna have to stay tuned if you're listening. He did eliminate me, and I'm sad about it to this day. All right, so before we go into even more chapter 3 stuff, let's rewind a little bit, get people to know who you are and your origin stories with Fortnite. How did you come across the game? What was it like? And why have you been playing it? What, for 4 years now?
Yeah.
Why are you still playing this game, man?
When you say it like that. So I initially started playing Fortnite again through the sponsorship through Epic Games. And typically the way I work is I only take sponsorships of games that I think look cool, right? And that
Yeah.
I can play them and then kind of go from there. So interestingly enough, the sponsorship kind of worked in the opposite direction where like, you're supposed to help introduce other people to the game. Well, it
Yeah.
got me really into the game, like really into it. And I had heard Save the World before. I had friends playing it, and that looked awesome too. But I never really jumped into it. But there was something about this kind of newer battle royale format that really kind of captured me. I'm a super competitive person, so the fact that like 100 people enter and one
Mm,
leaves, like, and you could be that person. Not that I was that person for a long time, but when I started, I was awful. You can look at, um, but the fact that competitive nature of it existed there really kind of captured me.
mm,
And as I played the game more, the building mechanic became more and more important, right?
yeah.
Initially, when starting, like, I wouldn't even build. Like, I'd throw up like one wall, that's it. But even just to see the evolution throughout the years, even to this day, there's like a
Yeah.
skill cap that's so incredible that it keeps me playing. Also, whenever I play any other game, I hate that I can't just build
Totally.
because I'm like, now I
Totally.
got to use this natural cover and stuff. Like, I just want to throw up a box and like leave it down to that, you know? So,
Yeah, there's
yeah,
something super comforting about like at any point in time to be able to put something in between you and your enemy. And I
oh,
feel
for
like
sure.
that isn't the same for other games. You need way more game sense of like the map itself. Where
Yeah,
in Fortnite, you're kind of like, I'll just run out, wherever I am, and then boom, like I'm good. Yeah,
totally.
it's hard to translate that for sure.
Yeah. Although I will say that when they did increase the size of the bush in Fortnite,
Yeah.
the competitive nature of the bush became super viable. So
Uh-huh.
like I've done it where I'm in some solo cash cups and I've gotten some heavy refreshes just by chilling in a bush. It's also like it's actually like strategically better than hiding in a house because
Sure.
like a house kind of has walls that you can't. They're not yours. The building conditions might not be favorable, and people check houses.
Mhm.
Like most of the times, they don't check bushes. So
And I feel like there's kind of like this assumption now. It's like that was around since the beginning of the game. It's
yeah,
like there's this assumption of there's no way someone's going to be in that bush. That would be so dumb. And
yeah.
then sure enough,
And then
here's
it's me.
TG. Here I am, and
With the
like get the
200
free
pump.
refresh. There you go.
Yeah.
That's
Also,
great.
I was gonna say the viableness of I don't know if that's a word. The viable strategy of
It
like
is. Yeah.
making a
Totally.
1x1.
Uh-huh.
It kind of like at least in competitive, if you make a 1x1 in like the center, as you know, it's kind of like it's like this guy doesn't know what he's doing. Like, why is he already boxed up? Right.
Yeah.
So you get the
Yeah.
psychos coming and they're just trying to take you out. So hiding in the bush is the way, man.
Yeah. That's the way. It's always been the way.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been playing a lot of games. What separates Fortnite from other games? What about it? Is it just the building, or is there more to Fortnite that sums up like, oh, this is a game that's worth playing for a long time for you? Like, I'm really curious.
Yeah, so the shooting mechanics are great. I like third person games. I
Hmm.
grew up playing a lot of them and I really enjoy them. Probably my favorite genre was third person games. Um, so the fact that Fortnite's third person, love it. Love that you
Yeah.
can see your character. A lot of games when you get cosmetics, you're in first person. Doesn't
Right.
really matter that much, but I'm rocking Venom and like,
Uh-huh.
all these different collab skins, Iron Man, and I can see them while I'm playing. So that just makes it so much more worth it. And speaking on collabs, like Fortnite's been so into them, right? I feel like out of all these games, like they're the one that kind of pushes that boundary the most, to my knowledge, and I like that. And some people might like original skins versus collab skins, but I like collab skins a lot. So that one's perfect for me. But yeah, the building mechanic and the skill gap, or the building mechanic and the skill kind of cap, right? Those two are
Uh-huh.
my favorite. Like I could, if I wanted to, and I've done it, like I've grinded creative, and you could see like from 1 week ago to today, like, you can see like a great improvement. And I think me playing 4 hours a day, usually just playing pubs, like you would think you'd be top tier or whatever, but there's
Yeah.
certain something extra, right?
Hmm.
And anyone could do it. And it's funny because if I didn't ever play Fortnite and I started today, to get to my level that I am now, it
Yeah.
would take you probably not that much time.
Yeah.
But it's because like the whole learning experience of Fortnite and what people do and the best way to do things, it's been a whole learning curve up until now, right?
Yeah. Totally.
So if you started Fortnite now, you would definitely learn infinitely quicker than if you started 4 years ago.
Oh man. I can think of so many clips of people just like put up one build and that's it. The whole game. And now you've got editing courses and things where like you can, whatever you're trying to fixture on, like what you're trying to focus on, you can just like enhance your shotgun ability close range. You can practice your editing and like it like every specific type of edit too, which is
Oh yeah.
absolutely insane. So yeah,
Even
the ability
crosshair placement, like that's so massive too. Something
yeah.
you wouldn't realize. So those creative matches are insane. I remember before creative, there was like playgrounds
Mhm.
and practicing in those. So it's even the tools now are better to practice. So
That's wild. Okay, so Fortnite's created some really incredible opportunities for content creators. I feel like that's something that I also see as something that sets them apart of like bringing people together, creating cool experiences. I'm curious for you, what's an experience associated with Fortnite that you got to come along in and experience for yourself that was really amazing to you as a content creator?
yeah, I mean, I can definitely list a few. I'm probably gonna miss a couple just because there's so many. There's so
Yeah.
many, and the last 4 years of my life with Fortnite involved have been life changing to say the least. Um, but going to like the pro-ams, those were a lot of fun. Meeting people there, meeting fellow content creators, just the whole event, how Epic does a fantastic job setting up events. Not to name names,
Yeah.
but like, you know, they're amongst the top tier of setting up events. Even like they had the Fortnite specific food there and drinks, and
Yeah.
it was so well set up. So that was a big one. Um, Trying to think of some more. So you were saying like big events that kind of Fortnite.
Yeah, like any type of opportunity. Here's another example. I know that you, with the recent Naruto collaboration, they'll send out to content creators like full on packages with engraved names and like these really cool like actual things you could put on your
Yeah,
physical body. They seem to be so intense about making sure that those collaborations that happen also warrant really cool things for content creators to share and let other people kind of live vicariously through. And so
yeah,
sometimes those are in live like live events where we're drinking slurp juice from actual like E3,
yeah,
or it's like, things that they have given. And I know you are a recipient of many of those things as well.
yeah. Oh, for sure. I have that box right there under Baby Yoda. So, like, and as a fan of the show, I started watching it a few months ago, probably like 3 4 months ago,
Mhm.
like, and it's quickly become one of my favorite shows. So to get something like that, it was the perfect timing for me, and I loved it. And they've done that before with like a couple of other collabs and a couple other events. I actually did a sponsored stream for season 7 where they would kind of drop hints of the next season.
Oh,
So it was
wow.
season 6 to season 7. And the way they set it
Wow.
up, it was just so cool because like I was learning of the things too when chat was learning of it.
How
And it was like a
cool.
hacking interface. So it's really cool. And I love when they kind of push those boundaries like that. It's
Yeah.
and it feels great to be a part of it.
Right. You feel like you're a part of like a family in some
For
ways.
sure. Yeah. Oh, and like my locker bundle, that was so
Yeah.
cool. And my tournament,
Huge.
like I love those things. Those things are awesome. And
Tell us
I'm
more
so
about that. Tell us for those that might not know what that means.
yeah. So I got a locker bundle of like one of my favorite skins, Suki. She actually got like a human form, which I thought looked incredible. I was already a fan of the skin, like kind of robotic version, but the fact that it got a human version, love it. And I got to pick like the pickaxe and the dance and stuff like that. Got put up in the item shop, and it said like typical gamers locker bundle. So that was really sweet. In addition to that, they're like, let's do a tournament.
So
So
cool.
there was like typical gamers tournament, and then it was 2 rounds. People got to play in it. I played in the second round of it. We did pretty good actually, but we didn't win any money.
Uh-huh.
You know, I kind of dumbed it down a little bit just so people
Yeah,
wouldn't
you
say
gotta
it's
let
rigged.
somebody else win.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
could.
You
I
can't
could
win your
have.
own tournament.
I could have won. I
Yeah,
just.
totally.
I didn't want people to say rigged. So.
That is
You know,
very nice of you. That is so
thank
nice
you.
of you.
I know. It's just the kindness of my heart, really. But I mean, countless things. I almost feel like, and I've said this before to my girlfriend, but I need to start writing these things down. I have a giant list of just everything because I feel like there's so many things that happen, and it's so hard to lose track of everything. But like each of them is so incredibly amazing that you want to always remember them.
Yeah, totally. All right, so I've got a little bit of beef that I need to air out with you. Okay. This is very personal to me. We're both on NA West, right?
Yes.
That's you're Canada, I'm California. We've crossed paths a few times in Fortnite.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of curious as from a content creating standpoint, why whenever I lose to you, there's a YouTube video that happens to accompany it, but then whenever I eliminate you, there isn't.
Yeah. Well,
What's the deal with that?
Let's dive into that.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many times have you killed me?
I've killed you once.
Once.
Yeah.
And I remember how you killed me. All right.
Yeah, do you? You should.
You remember too?
Yeah, it was very fun.
What did you use? What was the thing you used?
I used a very balanced weapon in the game.
Yeah. You grabbed me through a freaking build. All right, buddy. I seen that.
There was a few people there, and I decided to go after you instead of all of the other ones, mind you.
All right, that's it. I'm reporting you, buddy. I'm reporting you. You're getting reported. It was a good grab. Whatever. I think I just brushed it off. I might not have had names on there, but when I killed you, it was part of a whole experience.
Right.
It was like me versus Cypher, or we were doing a video. You happened to be the last opponent.
I happened to be there.
Yeah. So, and you're saying I've done this multiple times.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I don't have numbers or stats on me.
Yeah, sure.
I just remember during that moment. So there was a moment. You guys can watch this video. Typical is just slaying out. He is just destroying people, but he's also trying to convince Cypher that he isn't the person that he is. Cypher's trying to guess who TG is.
Yeah.
And so, of course, Cypher pops on me and he's like, oh, probably not. And that goes back to TG. He's like, probably this guy. And so final two. And I look up from my build after sniping somebody off a turret that was shooting at TG, which if I would have let happen, who knows? He could have been dead. I don't know. Maybe.
True.
And you are editing like all builds are white. I don't see a normal build. It is all just white colored editing. That's all I see. And I look up and I'm like, at this point in time, my chat's like, that's typical gamer. I'm like, obviously it is typical gamer. And so I just decided to emote and tried to have some fun with it, in which you did not want to have fun. You wanted to be the sweatiest sweat lord I have ever seen in the history of the game. So I ended up looking like an idiot because of it. I tried to put a pad down. It didn't work out. Put a second pad down. Worked out, but you shot me in the face. And I'm pretty sad about it. Not bitter at all.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to clip you. I'm going to be honest. I was trying to clip you. I didn't know it was you, but I was trying to clip you. So I didn't get the clip I wanted. I still killed you though, so I'm happy.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to start a therapy group for everybody that's been clipped by you after this podcast. So if you're interested in that, be sure to let me know.
Yeah, I think it's in the 100,000s now if we go to my eliminations.
Speaking of friendships, or lack thereof, tell us a little bit of the evolution of some of the friendships that you've made through Fortnite. I'd love to hear any stories along those lines.
Yeah, for sure. So I've definitely made a lot of friends. I usually operate kind of as a lone wolf, but Fortnite's the type of game where you're just bound to make some friends. So like I met Avery, Thieves, Cypher, Xoff, Nick A, just a ton of different content creators, but also people that I would call my friends besides, just playing the game. So it's been great for that. And some of the ways I met people was so funny, and some of the things that came out of it was even cooler. So it's been a wonderful experience.
It's kind of crazy how Fortnite's so good at that, at like finding people that play their game and then linking them together, either in a tournament style or like some weird like fun like battle royale experience or creative experience.
Oh, for
So
sure. Yeah.
it's so cool to see the people that have brushed shoulders. Like I couldn't tell you that I got to eliminate Booga, other than one of those experiences. I feel like
Yeah.
I probably would have never had that on my resume.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really cool how Fortnite does that and kind of like allows you to find new people. And I feel like this podcast is a good example of like having a cool conversation with you that maybe we wouldn't have had before if it wasn't for them.
For sure, yeah. And that reminded me too of like random duos when I run those. Like I've met some super cool people, and it's given me a great opportunity to meet some people who are fans of my content as well. It's just it's a very wholesome experience.
Yeah.
99.9% of the time.
Yeah. That's awesome. So, Andre, could you tell me in a nutshell how Fortnite has impacted your life? Like,
Yeah, I mean, kind of streaming and making content. That's a big part of my day, and the fact that I changed from I do a variety of games, but Fortnite's definitely the number one. So, I play it day in and day out. There's not a day where I don't play Fortnite pretty much. Um, and it's changed the way I create content. I started a whole new channel for it. Started posting more on other social media platforms because of it. And it's kind of changed the way that I think about content and the way I operate my business too. So
mm, that's awesome. And have you, I mean, what would you attribute to what would you attribute to Fortnite being that catalyst? Because I feel like this is a common thing that I've run across in this podcast
yeah.
is that Fortnite has kind of like either livened or pushed or changed or like drastically changed someone's life. And so what would you attribute that to be? Like is it just magic or like
Yeah.
like what is that? Like how would
I,
you talk about
I would
that?
kind of picture it as like, it's me as a person, and then it's Fortnite as a vehicle, and then you got
Mhm.
like my competitive nature and kind of the business element and stuff, and that is the vehicle to transport me and kind of have me the best way to do that. So
Mm,
it was the method to kind of it was the perfect formula to mix my creativeness with my competitiveness in a game that I truthfully enjoy day in day out,
yeah.
to have just like the content come out natural, that
Mhm.
it's just something that people would enjoy.
Yeah. And so what would you say to somebody who wants to be a content creator like you?
Yeah, I
And wants
mean,
to use Fortnite as maybe that catalyst as well.
for sure. I mean, I think there's endless opportunities for it. I mean, even looking now, I'm only one person, and there's only so much I could do. But I sometimes see other people, and I look at what they're doing and how they could be doing this differently or that differently, and it's just like some little things here and there. But it's kind of like Fortnite has all those things that you could be doing, right?
Mm,
Creative or competitive or challenges. And I've kind of only embraced a few part of those to like the effort that I put in, but the opportunity is there for like everyone. As
yeah.
as long as, I mean, it's a competitive industry as well.
Yeah.
I started streaming back in 2009, so it's a lot different now than it was then, and I'm thankful to be in the position that I am. But I truthfully, wholeheartedly agree that if you dedicate yourself, put your mind to it, and you have a great vehicle like Fortnite, like you
Mhm.
can definitely become a content creator through those means.
That's awesome. I love that. So as a foundational piece of what Fortnite has become, what do you feel like is the legacy that you hope to leave or you feel like you have left in the game?
Mhm. Dropping some hints here. Foundational piece. I see it, bro. I see it. We're talking about chapter 3 earlier. I see. I see. You got something to tell us? We're gonna flip
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
interview.
Save it for the end. Just save it for the end.
Yeah, just tell me out there. Just tell me out.
Yeah, yeah. I won't tell you.
Um, yeah, I mean, there's at the end of the day, it comes down to me just kind of riffing and just playing the game I enjoy and having fun with it. And I think I've seen from the community as well. I mean, I have a very active Discord and a bunch of people who have made a ton of friends. Just it's like its own thing. So it's like I play Fortnite. There's people who enjoy Fortnite and enjoy watching my content. They come together, they start talking to each other. And I've had countless people just tell me that they've met their best friend from like my community or from our community. And, they met their wife from the community, right? There's people that get tattoos of like my logo and stuff. So it's clear there's an impact there. And that's what I love. Like I get to play a game that I truly enjoy and to harbor this incredible community that I wouldn't trade for anything in the world. And it's largely in part because of Fortnite.
That's awesome. I also love your content in particular because I feel like you also are accessible. I guess is the best way to say it. Like you feel the most like a person. You feel the most like without putting something on. You're kind of just like a person who loves things, and then you articulate your love for those things, and then people are like, I love those things too, and then I feel like it's a natural progression to appreciate, like, or enjoy you. If you're looking at his camera right now, you'll see a bunch of things, and these are things that he just loves, and he shares them with his audience, and I think that for me is really cool to see you grow as you share more parts of your life, even outside of Fortnite. You and your wife, all these really cool content pieces that allow people to really feel like they know you. And so I agree. I think like you are one of the most accessible content creators I've seen. And I think like by just not taking yourself too seriously, it allows people to also not take themselves too seriously and enjoy themselves as well.
Oh,
So
totally. I love that. Yeah. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, I just hop on and I play and I have fun with it. And when people meet me in real life, they're like, wow, you're the same. I'm like, yeah, it's just, sometimes a little more caffeinated in streams. But besides that, I mean, I'm just being me. And that's all I'd ever want. I mean, I'd be so burnt out of this if I wasn't being me. Right.
Yeah.
But I wake up every day and this is so intertwined with my life. It's like this is my life. So people ask like, "Oh, how long do you work?" I'm just like, the lines are blurred, but I love it. Right?
Yeah.
The lines are blurred, but I love it. So it's not like the saying, you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
Like this is just what I do, and I'm super passionate about it, and I'm super fortunate. I mean, there's not a ton of people that can say they play games for a living, and make a good living, right? So I'm blessed, and I'm super grateful for not only the opportunities that like Fortnite as a game has brought, but also everything my community has done for me. And it's amazing. It's amazing time to be alive, man, especially if you love games.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I got a question for you that I feel like is fun for most people that are on the podcast, and I would love to hear your take on it. What does your dream Fortnite event and or outfit look like in Fortnite? If you could dream up what an event would look like, and if you could dream up what an outfit would look like,
Got you. So just like a general outfit or an outfit of me?
We would probably always end up at the icon series, so we'll do both. We'll do both.
Okay, well, it would be cool to have an icon series. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I don't think
anyone's listening out there that works at Epic Games.
Hey, man, but that would be super awesome. I think the coolest part of that is like, you can be in a game and there's Master Chief. There's some icons you grew up playing with, right? There's some people you look up to as well. So that'd be really cool. But
you can't stop there. What would like? It's not that you haven't thought of this before.
World domination, Jeremy. What are we talking about here? What's going on?
World Yes. What would it look like if there was a typical what if Epic Games was like ring ring like right after this podcast was like, hey, we watched and we want this. What would it look like? Like, what could people expect a typical gamer icon series to look like?
Yeah. Well, I think we have to put my two cats in there. So I got Miku and George.
Like back blings or what?
Yeah, I think they would have to be back blings. Pickaxes. I feel like helping they're clawing every time. You love it. They would fit the personality too. So having both of them would be great. They're super cute. But I mean, I would like to do something crazier. So like kind of have some essence of like superheroes or like anime characters. I grew up watching like Dragon Ball Z and kind of shows like that. So having some sort of um what's the word? It's
like
not.
charge ability, or like when you get more eliminations, something happens to the outfit.
Yeah, I would want something like that. It's like something beyond normal, right?
Sure.
Like, you could just have a normal character and just have me, but I want something that's like it's a video game. Like this is
Right.
beyond reality, right?
Right.
So something like that would be cool. Probably, make some selectable styles with like my hat on, my glasses, hoodie, stuff like that. Having some like clothing options would be cool.
Yeah.
Make some my like merch logo. That'd be awesome. But yeah, that would be fun. That'd be a lot of fun.
When it happens, we'll look back on this podcast and we'll see how closely they aligned themselves. I'm expecting cat no like nunchucks.
The Jeremy style.
Okay, so what about just like a normal outfit, not typical gamer? What would you want?
Yeah, so I like the super clean outfits.
Okay.
So and I prefer girl character models to guy character models. There is some guy models that are kind of like slimmer. I just like having the lowest profile on my screen so I can see the most things. Right. That's where it comes down to the competitiveness. There is no competitive advantage to using one skin over the other. All the hitboxes are the same.
Right.
But visually, to me, I want to see the most. So, but yeah, having a super clean skin, that's pretty much like it's just the cleanest it could be. The cleanest, like no logos, just like one color. I think that would be sweet.
You make a lot of challenge videos, and so this has given me an idea for a challenge for you. I want you to create the most obnoxious, biggest, like massive skin that you possibly can in the game and get a W with more than 10 kills. I feel like that is a perfect.
Yeah. You know what's funny is that my girlfriend kind of hosts custom lobbies where she kind of has like a theme and everyone joins in on them, right? And she's hosted these ones, like the ugliest skin. So I go with like the Devourer skin, like the giant monster. And I have like the most massive wings on my back and like the giant Season X, like sledgehammer or, that giant hammer. It's just, my whole screen is just this dude. And I can never win them because he's just too big. And it's just so hard to see. My glider is like a giant dragon. I can't even see my screen. Yeah. That's Fortnite for you. You can make that, right?
I love it when there's those like your cursor literally has, I think it's Peely, like the front, like if you're walking forward and you have your cursor out, it is covering half of the cursor. It's like nice.
There's some skins that are really cool, but then like the right shoulder when you're aiming is like over the middle part. I'm like, I can't do this.
You buy it and then you're like, all right, we get a win, we're out.
Yeah, well, I have far too many skins, and people always go like, oh man, you don't even use all your skins. I'm like, I got like 1,200 skins. How do you expect me to use them all?
Right.
I'm just collecting them at this point, right? They're cool. I like to have them as a memento.
Okay, so you talked about the skins. Give us like an event that you feel like would be kind of cool, or a collaboration of event. We've seen a Marvel event in the past. Is there any type of event that you would like to see? We've seen Marshmello, we've seen Travis Scott, we've seen, like concerts. Is there one in particular that you're like, if Fortnite did this, they would just print money and I would like 5%, please?
Yeah. So, I mean, I have that idea for like, I forgot even when we talked about skin collabs, there was one that I think would just be insane. But in terms of events,
you're not going to share it now?
Like, yeah, I mean, I can share it. I was trying to clickbait you, I was trying to wait for you to ask for it. It's in. Have you watched Naruto?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the Akatsuki, like if they got Itachi, I think they would just break the item shop. If they had Itachi, or if they had the whole Akatsuki set, like it would be more popular than the Naruto set, like 100%.
It's just the beginning, bro. We got Naruto. Yeah. It's just the beginning.
Well, just think like every character in Naruto can be a skin. Right,
every single one. And like Naruto Shippuden, we also have the Boruto series, like all of it. Like, just expect to lose all of your money if you like Naruto and Fortnite. It's
well, I mean, and the same goes for other series too, right? There's so many things to do, and the fact that they've broken into this and they're doing it makes me hype. Because who doesn't want to play this Naruto? Like, I'm going around doing summoning jutsu, like exactly, full tilt. So. Okay, but back to the event. Back to the event. For me, it's hard because every time I go to a Fortnite event, and I think Fortnite's pretty iconic for this, is their events are just insane,
Oh yeah.
right? Like having a millions of people online witnessing just insane events from start to finish, even the concerts, like it's just such an incredible experience. And I don't know, man. I don't think it would be tough for me to come up with something to rival that of like the creative Epic team, because they've done such an amazing job. Just such an incredible job. But um yeah, I don't know. I honestly, I'm just excited for the event that's coming up.
Yep.
And like
It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be so cool.
You know, I'll let them do their thing. They're great at it, and I'm gonna just be excited for it. If they want some input, just throw me in there. I'll tell you a couple of things. But maybe Jeremy. Maybe I wrote the next event. Maybe that's why I can't tell you about it.
I know. Yeah, you were starting to get hesitant, and I was like, okay, maybe I should push this. He obviously has insider stuff going on.
That I cannot confirm nor deny this information. So,
dude, I want a Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse when that second movie drops. I want that as an event. I think like,
could we just throw anything as an event? Because now I'm thinking like,
exactly. I mean, that's what's so great about streaming.
I mean, like imagine like a Batman, like Arkham Knight sort of style event. Where I always thought like when they brought the Lamborghini into when they brought the Ferrari into Fortnite.
Whoa.
Yeah. Like how cool would it be if you could get the Batmobile, or like they had the Ghostbusters car, but you couldn't drive it. But imagine you could drive it.
Chapter 3, bro. I bet you weapon, or we know vehicle skins will be a thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's evident. But imagine you could buy the Ghostbuster vehicle and it takes the place of a Whiplash when you jump in, you know? It just turns into that.
I was always curious how they would do that. Because like even for like weapon skins, like I've seen from kind of other games as well. Fortnite kind of just sticks to like the colors and some animation and maybe some reactiveness to it as well. But like imagine changing the appearance of like the scar or something, right?
That'd be cool.
And maybe that's not a thing because like they vault things and unvault things like pretty fairly common. But if they have like a set, like, this will always be in the game, that would be sick.
Be so rad.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, so this is the question. If there's any question to answer well, it is this one.
All these other questions?
All of them chasers to this question. What is your favorite Fortnite moment or memory of all time? You might have a few. We can go through a few of them. But like what is it for you?
Jeremy, this one's locked. I don't even got to think about it. This one's a core memory. All right, okay. Let's go. Now I mentioned before I'm super competitive.
Yeah.
So
you keep saying it very competitively.
Yeah. I'm trying to make sure that I'm the most competitive one here. Okay, buddy, with your gigantic Christmas tree in the back. So my absolute favorite moment was there was a Stream Invitational, which was a tournament at TwitchCon a couple of years ago, more than a couple of years ago, and it kind of got a lot of the top content creators, and also some pro players as well. And it paired you with someone who was just at TwitchCon. Yeah. So you would be with someone who's just, I guess someone who just signed up, and then they would be eligible to play with you. So it was me versus a ton of these content creators. There was 3 rounds. It was solo, then duos with that person. So the solo one, the first one, I got second place. Wow. Which was a ton of money, but I ended up RPGing myself. I had no more mats. And like,
classic you.
To this day, I swear that I didn't hit the part of the build that it showed. But you know what? Let bygones be bygones. I got second place. It was still great. The next match, I did pretty well. And then the third match, the duos match, it ended up pretty much being solos because most of everybody's partner kind of just
faded.
Yeah. There was no reboot vans back then, to my knowledge. Right. And
nor would you reboot them,
Yeah, it was I would. I feel like I would be the guy who would reboot it and sacrifice. But when he went down, he's like, just leave me. I'm like, okay. I'm not
gonna. All I need to hear as a competitive person. See you, buddy.
Exactly. So I ended up going to high ground. There was glad to redeploy just like inherently in the game. And I was like, hey, if somebody shoots me down, like worst case, I'm just gonna fly down. So I held that high ground. I jumped down, and it was Myth and Spenos at the bottom. I ended up taking out, I think both of them. I think maybe both of them, and I won. And that was like like it was a ton of money. I think it was like $50,000.
Wow.
And then it was split with that other guy. So the random guy there, he won. He's like, "What do you mean we won?" Like he couldn't comprehend it. He didn't even know what was happening. I'm like, "You just won like 25 grand, dude." And we were hugging. It was just insane. If you have the clip, like when I win, I'm like, "Let's go!" Like you could just like, and every time I like
is that the one
replaying
where
it
you
sometimes.
get out of the chair and they have you like in the stands and you're like, is that
So
that?
that's my second favorite.
Okay.
That's the second. So this one I won, and I'm like, "Let's go!" And I was so hyped. And even thinking about it, I get like chills. It was honestly, it's not even just like Fortnite related. It might be my favorite moment, like one of my top favorite moments ever, all time.
Wow.
I loved it. And then the second one was at the Pro-Am, and it was me and my partner, and we got placed together, and he's like hyping me up. He's like my hype man, and I love it. And he's like, "I believe in you, man. You got this." And for one of the games, I think there was like 5 games that were played. We didn't end up winning, but we did win this one game.
Yeah.
And when I won, there's that footage. And I'm like yelling, and I like go, and I forget to take off my headphones, and I get like pulled back a little bit. I'm like, "Oh, take them off," and I just hug this dude, right? And we're like celebrating, and like to him, like I'm sure he didn't play Fortnite that much, but the fact that we won, like it was such a incredible moment that he wasn't even expecting. So it was awesome, and everybody was there, and all the cameras on. It was a super fun moment, and it, like I said, it's a core memory. I'll never forget it. One of my favorite days of my life.
Love that. That's so good. That's great. Love the energy with that. Okay, so I got a few more questions. I feel like we have to dive into this a little bit deeper for those we were teasing about chapter 3. Andre, what do you think the future of Fortnite looks like for this new chapter? And what additions are you really hoping for the future of Fortnite?
Yeah, I think there's something, they kind of set a precedent over of kind of from chapter 1 and chapter 2. They introduce a new mechanic or a couple of new mechanics. And I think kind of going into chapter 3, I think not only me, but other people are expecting that as well. So the couple of things that I think they should add, and also again, in one loading screen they teased, they kind of got a guy sliding. So like a sliding mechanic, that would be incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if it's going to happen, but that would be awesome. I'm very interested to see how that would work in competitive and all that. It's just fun to have something new.
Yeah.
Additionally, for that, like I always thought, I hate the Raptors in Fortnite. I genuinely like, bro, they attack me. They're chewing through my box, like,
and you turn a corner and they're there.
Yeah,
you know? And you can hear them a mile away. Like and the sound guy was just having a heyday with these guys.
And I swear, they always team. They always team with the other guy I'm fighting. Yep. So like they're never helping me out.
You can't report them. You can't even report them. There's no reporting system.
So like sometimes I'll just take their meat and just huck it. Just start hucking it just out of anger, right? And so like taming them.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you can tame them now because I've never seen anyone tame it besides the first day that the feature was released. It's essentially useless, right? They died a storm in like instantly. It was just like, it was not the best. It was a cool idea, not well implemented. Rideable animals, though. If you could ride the raptor, then you don't need a car. You got a form of transport that maybe runs off meat, maybe runs off his own like spirits. Yeah, you know, maybe he just like he's passionate about running, so like you know he's great at it. But just having like even the wolf, the boar.
Mm-hmm.
Look, if they make a rideable chicken, I'll take it. Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Chicken glider. You pick it up. Boom.
Yeah, and it would just be cool. And plus, you know, we could have some skins in there.
Right.
They would have to keep around the feature probably forever if they do that. But having some skins there would be cool. Imagine riding like a chocobo or something in Fortnite, right?
That'd be insane.
I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. I've always pronounced it. Okay, sweet. But yeah, rideable animals, sliding. I'm trying to think of another one. There was during the Ariana Grande event, you could at one point you could like jump and like spin, or you could jump and like flip.
Right.
Like, tell me that wouldn't make the game insane. Like they would have to reduce like fall damage for sure, but like just jumping, flipping, building, shooting, like it would be a really cool aspect.
Trick shots would be awesome with that.
Yeah,
it'd be so cool.
And like the skill cap would just continue to advance.
Yeah.
Even with the things I mentioned, especially with like sliding, the skill cap's going to change, right?
Totally.
And the way people use it in day 1 of chapter 3, if it is released, like it won't be the same way they use it a month from then. So
For sure.
just having those core concepts added would be really, really fun.
Well, in Apex, they have the like emotes in the sky, right?
Yeah.
Where
Oh,
like
yeah. That would be
you
cool.
can like do that type of stuff. So you can do that acrobatic work in the sky. Would be kind of rad to throw that in there
Yeah.
amongst everything. Also, I got a question for you. How about this? This is something I've been thinking about. You know, like when you build and edit, well, maybe you don't know. When you build and edit and it's incorrect, it
Yeah.
won't edit it,
Yeah.
right? So you probably don't know that. But
Yeah.
if that happens, that's what would go down.
Yeah.
How do you feel about every edit being an edit? Like,
Yeah. I mean, that
so
would be cool
if
too.
I did just the bottom tile of the middle, it just is like a doggy door.
Yeah.
And you could slide through the doggy door to shoot somebody.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts with that?
That would be cool. I mean, I've always tried to do some edits, and yeah, mostly when I was starting, some just didn't exist. Like you can make
Right.
like a castle, kind of like just the top square out. You can make like a castle if you wanted to, or something. But yeah, that would be interesting to see how they implement it. I guess it gets confusing when it's like you're trying to do one by one, and half the builds are like
Yeah.
which ones remain, which ones
Right.
will keep the structure afloat.
Totally.
But
the
if they
one that kills me every time is the bottom four to make like that like ledge like piece.
Yeah.
But if you do that, the top four, no way, Jose, it's not going to work. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Why can't I just like have a really fun ledge that I can just jump over and have somebody else trip behind me? Like I don't know. I just feel like it'd be interesting. I feel like you could play around with a little bit more of the editing.
Yeah.
And I'm curious of what Epic will do to make the game feel fresh enough to where it's not chapter 2. And that's the thing that I always get like thinking is like chapter 2 was notorious for changing a lot of things, including graphics, which I think are coming again with the Unreal Engine 5. But like cars was kind of like this big push of like vehicles, and then you could throw tires on vehicles. And so then it started evolving. And I wonder if there chapter 3, like what are the things, what are the things going to be that make it feel like a new game, just to where somebody that hasn't played for a while will come in and go, yeah, it feels new, it feels different. Like, I wonder what those things could be.
Yeah, so I think it's important to note there too, and kind of just to manage expectations. It's like the driving feature, which is so huge, was only introduced season 3, the end of season 3, and even Wheels was only brought after. So like initially, and a lot of people will call chapter 2 season 1 like, I've seen some lists where they're like, oh, it was my least favorite because it was too long. It felt like nothing new. But like, think about it. Like, we got a new map. We got the new art style. Some people might like it. Some people might not. I think I like it. And then we got swimming, right? There was no swimming before. You fell in the water before you were done.
That's right. That's right.
And then we got fishing as well. So it's like,
oh, that's right. Yeah.
There's so many new mechanics that were brought that I feel like you have to respect that in that season. But also, a lot of the cool things that we enjoy weren't brought until seasons later, right?
Right.
Like, it takes some time to flesh these things out. Even like the crafting mechanic. Like, personally, in chapter 2, season 6, wasn't the biggest fan of the primal stuff.
Oh my gosh.
But the fact that you could craft things and change things, that was like the aha. Like, now maybe on the note of things they could bring, attachments, weapon attachments, that definitely would
be cool.
That would interest me, and I think a lot of people as well. Like, you don't have to get a silence scar specifically anymore. You can just find a silencer, right?
Yeah, or you could go up to a chest to try to open the chest, but instead do this and catch fireflies, and then go, I don't want these fireflies. But then,
my favorite feature,
if you can make the attachment be like, oh, you also have a pistol, you can make that a fire pistol. It's like, boom, that would be pretty sweet.
Yeah, incendiary rounds are like on a grenade launcher. You attach it in, or you get like there's like a, I don't know, like a hop flopper kind of fish you can get, and you can shove that on the grenade launcher. Now it's a shockwave launcher. Like,
beautiful.
The possibilities are endless. They've got some creative minds at Fortnite. They got the they got the reins. So I'm hoping that they throw some really cool features in. But I will know day 1 of chapter 3 that like, that's not everything we're getting.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there will be a lot. And I think there is a lot of expectations because there's a lot riding, of course, on a brand new chapter. Especially to me, they did it early because I guess the expectation was, it's going to go chapter 1, season 10, chapter 2, season 10. But now they're not doing that. It's like, they got this one chance to bring a lot of people back to the game.
Yeah.
Re-spark the interest, get a lot of new people. It's like, what are they going to do with that opportunity? Because it doesn't come very often. It's been 2 years since chapter 1's flipped over to chapter 2, right?
Wow. Yeah.
So
that's good.
Yeah.
Andre, it's been awesome chatting with you, man. It's so fun to kind of parse this stuff out. I'd love to hear what projects you're working on, what your fans could be looking forward to in the future, and in what ways we could support you as a podcasting community.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of it's the same old, but that's not a bad thing. Like, I stream every single day on my channel, and that's always a blast when people tune in. I'm constantly trying to improve things and add things to the stream to make it not only unique, but also more fun for people watching too. Been diving into creating a kind of a really strong community through like our Discord.
Yeah.
And kind of just making it that you don't have to be a passive viewer if you don't want to. Like, you can be engaged in the community, and there's not only benefits of finding friendships, like I mentioned beforehand, but like, we have giveaways and even a chance to be in the content. So that's the big thing right now, making sure that we just have the right parameters to continue building this incredible community.
That's awesome. And I know Discord links can be a little weird. How would somebody find your Discord if they wanted to get involved with that?
Yeah, you can just go discord.gg/TG Elite, or you can just search TG Elite. Any link in my stream description will have it. So
great.
That's probably the best way.
Perfect. And then any final words or last thoughts or things that you would like to leave us with towards the end of this podcast?
Yeah, I think just chapter 3 for me it's going to be like opening presents on Christmas morning. It's so much of my life is Fortnite, and it's like getting a whole new book. It's like getting your favorite series, a new movie comes out, right? And the fact that this happens every 2 years, like, this is a super monumental moment. I'm going to savor it all. And I truly appreciate the work that Epic does. I mean, a lot of chapter 2 was done during, COVID.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were able to put out these incredible events and these incredible updates that, not only you and I love, but a lot of people love, like, that was a really great feat. So appreciate you, Epic Games. And I'm strongly and passionately looking forward to chapter 3. I'll be there for the whole thing.
All of chapter 3. You heard it here first. If for any reason he tips, then we get to nail him down, right, everybody?
There you go.
Comment section. You heard it here first.
Yep.
Thank you again, Andre, Typical Gamer, for being here on the 2nd season of Unvaulted Podcast. We are super grateful for Epic Games, who helped sponsor this, and learning from Typical Gamer. Thank you guys so much for everything you guys do to support a podcast like this, to our content, to inviting us to really cool things. We are very grateful for that. We appreciate you. And of course, a special thank you to our listeners, those that are watching either on YouTube or Twitch, or those listening on our the various podcasting platforms. Thank you guys for being here. If you want to connect with us, you can always look us up on Twitter at Unvaulted Pod, or me personally at the Squatingdog, for more Unvaulted Podcast content. We are also live on Samsung for the 13 of you listening there. And it's been typical fun having you here. Until next time, I'm Squatingdog. We'll see you later.